Coming out of the Cape Fear Future study and something that Jack just mentioned, one of the most difficult issues I would say we face as a community is the issue of diversity. And I know several of the people up on the panel here have actively recruited minorities to their institutions or tried to recruit people, and the lack of diversity in the area, people just felt like they may have come here and felt like they couldn't fit in and left and went back to an Atlanta or a Chicago or something like that. And this is, having seen some of the results from the Cape Fear Future study and, hearing it from the consultants, that this is essentially probably the most difficult thing for us as a community to get our arms around. I mean, how do you address this issue? And it's changing a mindset. It's not building a bridge. It's not putting up a building.
Inclusion. You want anybody where you are to feel, you want their opinions to feel welcome, and you want them to feel welcome in your community. Saying that, we have a very difficult time recruiting minority candidates into Wilmington. One, in our business, they have better opportunities in bigger cities, but secondly, around the country, when you talk to individuals, we don't have the greatest reputation for being welcome and being open for professionals coming in that are different in this community. And it does affect us, and it does hurt us. And I think, though, that as our community changes, and I mean, I've been here 5 years now, and the changes in the community in 5 years and the difference, the people who have moved in, has been dramatic. But I think that it has to be an open debate, because this is not the same Wilmington as it was 30 years ago, 10, 25. And for some people, that's a major issue. For others, it's a reality. But we've got to come to grips with what we're going to be as a community.
What I was going to say, I also grew up here, and I do remember Wilmington, and I grew up here in the 60s. You have to remember, I'm Greek, but everybody thought I was Italian, Puerto Rican, Spanish. I was a resident of everything. We have made great strides in this community from my perspective, but we've got a long way to go. But I want everybody to know, because everybody plays a role in this, economics and business play a huge role. And just think about what Scott and his organization have done for our community, and what the business incentives that the county and the state and the city have put together to recruit companies like GE, PPD, Verizon, Guilford Mills. There's over 4,000 employees that have come into this community from around the country that have brought their ideas, that are people that have seen diversity in different communities. And it has changed our community, it's changed the look of our community. And as our business community grows and people migrate to our area, so does our thought process.
Well, what has happened, 2 years ago we redistricted the schools because I was not on the board then, but the decision was made to go to neighborhood schools. And I can't imagine anyone who would be opposed to neighborhood schools, because I think that's kind of the crux of a good quality school system. But one of the unintended consequences of that was we essentially resegregated our schools here in Wilmington. And that's not a good thing. I've gotten a lot of comments from people in the business community and the education community as to why that happened. There are a lot of reasons why. Like I said, that was unintended consequences. So now we're having to redistrict again because of growth. So how do we bring about more diversity in our schools without moving youngsters all over the county? And I was asked that by the news media, and I don't have the answer to that as to how we can do that without moving kids all over the place. But however, I think within our community, I have a faith in, abiding faith in Wilmington and our ability to solve problems.